Hello everybody and welcome to Chop and Brew. I am Chip Walton. Once again, life has gotten a little bit out of hand, just a little bit too crazy. So instead of putting out an actual episode, this is going to be kind of like episode 5.5, which we called Not an Official Episode. This will be 14.5, Not an Official Episode, Part 2. So if you remember on episode 5.5, life had gotten kind of crazy because I was doing some grad school work. I had pretty much just started a job at Summit. There was a big learning curve there. That all worked out pretty well. Still working at Summit, kicking butt and taking names. We actually just won a silver medal at GABF. And the grad school class worked out fine. I got me an A on a paper about immigrant poetry on the walls of Angel Island in San Francisco Bay. Life is crazy again right now because I just went to GABF. Elsa and I are going on vacation in New Orleans for our family's Jelly Jar reunion next weekend. And then 2 weekends after that I traveled to Nashville for Chop and Brew business to document the Music City brew off, and also stopping by Rebel Brewer to do a segment on Rebel Brewer. So as always, there's more ideas than time to produce them, and at this point there's much more footage than I have time to edit. But those are all coming up, about to hit a nice pace here once fall and winter begin. Getting a new computer online that's going to make all of this happen a lot quicker. So I really just want to kind of update people with what is coming up. The support has been absolutely bonkers from you guys and gals. And in the course of the last month, things have just really skyrocketed. Subscribers on YouTube, likes on Facebook, emails coming in. So I just want to make sure that the newcomers weren't kind of like, thought he was putting out an episode every 2 or 3 weeks. It might be a couple more weeks before we kind of hit our pace again. But I wanted to let you know that while I was in Denver for GABF, representing for Summit, I also worked in an episode shoot with a good buddy, Keith Ciani. We're going to have him coming up. We're going to have episodes on New York City Homebrew Tour. I went to New York City last month and followed Josh Bernstein, the beer writer, along his 3-stop homebrew tour, which is absolutely bonkers. That's coming up. And then Abstract Artemis went absolutely crazy that night after the homebrew tour and insisted on grilling indoors on his 4th-story kitchen, 4-story apartment kitchen. So that's going to be one of those totally do not try this at home episodes that's coming up. We've got the Heatwave Saison episode. Some of you saw the pictures when I was brewing that a couple of months ago. It's a Saison fermented in a 90-degree garage. What's pretty cool about that is Michael Dawson from Y Yeast and Jake Keeler from BSG joined me for tasting notes on that. So that's going to be pretty excellent. DonO and I got together and did kind of a collaboration video. He was brewing a double IPA with his first ever hop stand. That is already on YouTube. I'll link it below this video. While he was doing that, I was kind of shooting that, and then we had a Chop and Brew episode moment in which the two of us talk about how we came to homebrewing and how we came to be obsessed with the idea of documenting our experiments, as if anybody out there cares. And it turns out a lot of people do, and there's a lot of other people doing similar things with documenting. So we kind of talk about that. We're definitely going to be tasting those wet hop beers from episode 14 with Ted, Paul, Badass Brian Adams. Like I said, I'm going to Nashville in a couple weeks. There's going to be an episode coming up. Chop and Brew is kind of like the media sponsor of a local homebrew competition here in the Twin Cities called the Big River Northeast Homebrew Competition. Part of that sponsorship was the commitment of shooting an episode with the Best of Show winner. Excuse me. And I believe we do have a winner that'll be announced this upcoming weekend, the 17th and 18th of October, and I'll find out who that is and what beer we're going to go brew with this award-winning person. And then we're going to make some booyah. I mean, we're going to finally get to the chop. I know a lot of people, most people, let's be honest, came to Chop and Brew from Brewing TV, which was obviously highly brew-centric, homebrew-centric, but I've definitely gotten plenty of comments about getting to some chop. So we've got this thing called booyah. What is it? I don't even know. The more I learn about it, the crazier it is. It's obviously large scale, large quantity cooking that takes like 3 days to prep, and then you do it like in a giant cauldron, specifically in St. Paul, Minnesota. So we're gonna represent and see that. I made some rhubarb simple syrup a while back. We're gonna finally get that out there. I made a turkey veggie stock one night after a crazy music fest at Summit. We're gonna do that. There's all kinds of, winter is the time for brewing and for cooking. So I think we're definitely gonna launch into some good chop. Kind of as we get through these next couple weeks of traveling and kind of being off air, offline a little bit, I definitely encourage you to go backwards and check out past episodes of both Brewing TV and Chop and Brew, specifically the Lagniappes. If you haven't checked out Chop and Brew Lagniappes, there's maybe 7 or 8 of them. Everything from cooking and eating hop asparagus shoots to making German potato pancakes with my grandmother. Don't forget, we also have a My Best Impression of the Chop and Brew theme song contest that's currently going on until midnight Halloween, where you do your best impression of the Chop and Brew theme song, and my buddy Abstract Artemis and I will pick the best one. So far there's only 2 entries, so you're giving Nikolai and DonO some 50-50 chances. We should give them a run for their money. Also, if you ever just want to see kind of how Chip Walton got to become a homebrew videographer slash musician, you can always check out my personal YouTube page. I don't throw it out there a whole lot, but there's some old school homebrew stuff on there and some music and me and Elsa fighting the blizzard of 2010 or 11. That's youtube.com/TexaBamaBrackish, like the title right here says, somewhere right here. Main thing, I just wanted to say I appreciate the support. I know this is a lame excuse for an episode, but the heartfelt reason for doing this is because I want people to make sure that they know that I am here for you, that the crew is here for you. DonO, Brian Adams, Ted and Paul, all the co-hosts yet to be on Chop and Brew, Miss Judy, Ryan, you know, I really appreciate that we get to do this. The contributions so far financially have been amazing from around the world. The emails from around the world and country are amazing. People coming up to us and bum rushing me, Mike and Jake, and anybody else that was associated with BTV or C&B at GABF. Is just constantly overwhelming to realize what kind of impact a bunch of goofballs in a basement or backyard can really have. And it's very humbling when not only homebrewers, but the new generation of craft brewers are coming up to and they're just like, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for your video work. And that's kind of crazy because it's just, like I said, it's just some dudes. And then you get things like this from awesome fans, man. Who wouldn't love the OG Chop and Brew logo cutting board? So from physical awesome things like this and beer getting sent to you, to the intangibles like emails and high fives and words of support, just want you to know Chop and Brew is here for you. We got some technical upgrades about to happen. We've got plenty of footage in the box. Things are about to get really real in the fall winter of 2013 and 14. So until the next legitimate episode, which I can't even tell you which one it's going to be because there are so many great things on deck. Chop for chop, brew for brew. Let me know how you do. chopandbrew@gmail.com. chopandbrew@gmail.com. Protect your bottle with a koozie, son. I think that's it. It's a whole lot of rambling. Hello everybody, welcome to Chop and Brew. I am Chip Walton. Once again, life has gotten a little out of hand and crazy. That would be my wife laughing hysterically in the living room. All right, let's try that again.
Once again, life has gotten a little bit out of hand, just a little bit too crazy.